Got it.
All right, guys, hello, and welcome to another edition of Rum and Records. I am Fred McFarland, and that's Nick McFarland.
Hi there, ho there.
Yeah, from the lovely city of Norcross, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. How's the weather there, Nick? A little chilly still? Last time I talked to you.
We are in Duluth, actually,
Duluth, I'm sorry.
Where Buford Highway kind of drops off. It is still cold. Probably will be cold for the next few months, which I guess I'm sort of excited for, but I'm sure about a month in, I'll be like, why is it not summer yet?
Yeah, you can always
Um,
come visit us here in South Florida because it's always in the 70s. Well, no, I take it back. It will get in the winter down into the 50s maybe, but that's about it. Yeah, chilly. All right, man. So another edition of Rum and Records, and again, if anybody is just joining us for the very first time, this came from something that Nick and I used to do when I lived in Atlanta, and we'd get together and have an adult beverage and talk about music. Nick's got some great. I use the word eclectic, but in a great way. An expansive appreciation for music, all kinds of different music, and he's always teaching me stuff that I didn't know and turning me on to bands that I wasn't aware of. And so I always appreciate it. And me, I'm just an old guy, so I tend to stick to older stuff. Although I really have not spent a lot of time, unfortunately, listening to brand new stuff, new releases. But after 60 some years, I've got my collection of artists that I really, really like a lot. And so I
uh,
tend to listen to them. And like the Rolling Stones just released a new album when we're recording this, which is in the mid-October. They just released a new album, so I'm anxious to hear that.
and there's a something we'll have to try. I don't know if you have Spotify Premium, but they released a new feature which I suggest everybody go check out. My friends and I use it almost daily. It's called Jam. So basically, what you do is it is a collaborative playlist. You start a song, and then people can join, and they can add songs to it.
Oh wow.
You can set a theme, set restrictions or whatever you want. We tend to usually just go with whatever the first song is. We just kind of play off of the vibes from
Yeah.
that, and it's a great way to find new music. Great way to just even if you're not directly with your friends, you can still interact with them in a way that at least all of my friends enjoy, which is music.
That is super, super cool. Yeah, I remember Spotify or maybe some other music services had where yeah, you like this artist, try this one. The problem is then I would end up spending hours listening to, because then I'd listen to the next artist and then go to the next one. And
Ooh, that was pretty good. Ooh,
yeah,
that
that's
was
pretty
pretty
good. Let me
good.
listen
Ooh,
to
piece
that.
of
So
candy. Ooh, piece
yeah,
of candy. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And you can definitely go down a rabbit hole with that. But so let's go back to the show, Rum and Records. And the show, the first word is rum. And one of the things Nick, you and I have talked about is as you travel, the great thing is there are so many great distilleries and small craft breweries, independent distilleries and bottlers. It's kind of hard to travel anywhere in the country without finding one if you look for them. Here in our part of South Florida, there's a number of them between Tampa and Fort Myers, both craft breweries and small batch distilleries. And one that's getting a whole lot of attention, it's been around for a number of years, but it's this one. It's called Siesta Key, which there is a place here where right up the road from us called Siesta Key. But this is actually based out of Sarasota, this bottler here, and they exclusively do rum.
Wow.
Yeah, they've got white rum, they've got a spiced rum, they've got a coffee, and then this one right here is a toasted coconut rum, which is, I think, just absolutely amazing. And one of the neat things about it, a lot of coconut rums, if you pick something up off the shelf, a coconut rum, a Malibu or something, it's made with coconut flavor. It's
And it's
not real
way too
coconut.
sweet.
Yeah, yeah. But this is actually made with ground spices, honey, and toasted coconut flakes.
Oh
Real
wow.
coconut used to make this. So it really, really is good. Their website is siestakeyrum.com. They've got cocktail recipes on there, lots of different things. They do tours as well. Cocktail recipes all set for the winter. They got one called a Big Pass Pumpkin Spice. Big Pass is a place near right near Sarasota, and made with cold brew coffee. Their coffee and their spiced rums. So two rums and cold brew coffee. They've got one called a caramel apple rum teeny made with white rum. And most people use coconut rum to make poolside drinks like Bahama Mama, Mai Tai, that kind of thing. But there's one definitely I'm going to try. I told Mom I'm going to try it tomorrow night. It's made with coconut rum, vodka, pineapple juice, and a splash of grenadine just for color. So that sounds really good. It's coconut rum, vodka, it's pineapple juice, and sounds very refreshing. So we're going to try that tonight. I'll post the recipe on the Facebook page for that for the bikini martini. One great thing about this toasted coconut rum, like I said, it is great to make cocktails with if you want. It's delicious straight up though, or this is the way I like it. And I use my ice cubes made of spring water because I'm bougie like that. Get it out of my ice maker, my little ice cube maker here. Put one big cube of spring water ice cube in there and pour a little coconut rum in there. And there you go. Enjoy that. Now it's a little lighter color, you'll see. A little lighter color, but it's you can see it in the bottle as well. Super good. There you go. It's definitely sweeter, but it's got that coconut. You can taste the spices in there, a little bit of honey. It is, almost something like if you ever have a cold, it's a good thing to have. But it is a super nice sipping drink, or you can make some cocktails with it. One of the nice things too is about the price. Runs about 24 to 25 bucks a bottle. Not super expensive. Their white rum you can usually get for 19 or 20, and you can find it in most stores. Total Wine, that kind of thing. And I highly recommend it if you can find it in your store. Grab a bottle of Siesta Key toasted coconut rum. It is delicious. They also do some limited edition rums that are kind of cool. They did a series that was tied into Moat Marine, and proceeds went to wildlife, sea life. They have a couple of editions where they released only made like 1,000 to 2,000 bottles of it. They have a 15th anniversary of this toasted coconut rum, made about 15,000 bottles, and that's going to run you a little more than 25 bucks if you can find them. They generally sell out if you can when they make those limited edition rums. But anyway, so that's mine. It's a local rum from right down here in South Florida, Siesta Key rum. And if you're ever down in this area in Sarasota, they do distillery tours and have a little bar there you can sample stuff, and it's delicious. Coconut rum.
Very nice.
There you go. What you got?
Okay, well, for me, I went something close to home, something that I really enjoy as well. And that is because it is my drink of choice whenever I go out, especially to punk shows,
Okay.
which ties into which is a little sneak peek into the album that I brought as well. It is an extremely cheap drink. It is available at every bar you go to, at least ones where you don't know why the floor is sticky.
And don't want to know.
You don't want to know. Everywhere I've gone, it runs about $5 to $7 depending, and that is because it is a tall boy and rock gut shot of something.
Of something, okay. All right.
Today specifically, because of the show, I have a shot of Captain Morgan Spice Gold.
Spice Gold. Oh, that's a dark rum. That looks good. Okay.
A bottle $7.50 will run you $10. This is definitely something that I bring to parties. Just have something that I like. Other people might want vodka or something else. It's like, okay, fine. You have your thing. I'm going to have my dark, and then I know I have something for myself
Right.
because you don't like this.
Yeah, and maybe some of that less chance of other people snagging it from you, right? Awesome.
And then the little bit fancier here, the tall boy that is going to be paired with this one is the Champagne of Beers Miller High Life.
Miller High Life. Awesome.
Separate, maybe $4 and two together.
I love the pairing. I love the idea of pairing a fine, spiced rum with a Miller High Life.
I mean, back in the days when Mallory used to work at Pure, that's what
Right?
they have it's a tall boy Tecate and a shot of tequila. There is a Korean restaurant in East Atlanta Village called Gaja, and they do it's called the Yank, and it is a tall boy PBR with a shot of bourbon. Just whatever.
Oh my goodness! I thought you were going to say soju or something.
No. They also have the Korean version, which is a Korean beer and then a shot of soju.
Good.
But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and just
going a little lowbrow on this one, but that's all right. Good stuff.
Little ASMR for you.
All
right, bottoms up. All right. Fantastic.
ready to go get into the mosh pit, right?
Exactly. I'm always in the pit.
Yeah.
No, and no matter what show it'll be, I'll always find myself there. So,
Awesome. All right, man. Well, good. So some rum and a drink to have some fun with, and just and it's going to set you back a bunch.
mm-mm,
Bring 20
absolutely
bucks
not.
with you, and you're okay. All
Yep.
right, man. Well, that sounds great. My record for tonight is mention some of our favorite artists. One of mom and my favorite artists, who unfortunately we just lost a couple weeks ago. Of course, I'm talking about Jimmy Buffett. Most people know him from all his big hits, Margaritaville, Cheeseburger in Paradise. But you might not know. I mean, over his career, he's released 32 studio albums, 11 compilation albums, 14 live albums, a soundtrack, and 67 singles. So he had quite a career.
Quite the discography.
Quite a discography, exactly.
Something that I also didn't know about Jimmy Buffett is that he was a billionaire. He, and I guess it makes sense. He has hotels, casinos, restaurants everywhere, and all this music. But I guess I just never saw it because he just dresses simple.
Yep.
He lives a simple life. He is from a simple background.
Yep. Yeah. He's quite a businessman. I mean, he was a musician, and real quickly for those that don't know, I mean, he was basically a struggling Nashville songwriter from originally from Mississippi, the Gulf Coast of Mississippi. Went to Nashville, was trying to make a living there. Ended up getting a gig in with a friend of his, David, not David Allen Coe. God, can't believe I can't remember his name right now, and I love a lot of his stuff. Jerry Jeff Walker. I'm sorry, Jerry Jeff Walker. And he was going down to Miami to do this gig that he'd been booked, and he got there like a week early. He got his dates crossed. So Jerry Jeff Walker said, "Hey man, well listen, we got some time. Why don't you jump in my car and I'm going to take you down to this place that I love, Key West." I apparently had not been there before, but had heard about it. So this is, and they jumped in his car, and he mentions it in one of his songs, "Get the Packard rolling and let's move." And so they jump in Jerry Jeff Walker's car, his Packard supposedly, and drive all the way down to Key West. And Jimmy falls in love. He wrote a song called "I Have Found Me a Home," and created the whole persona of Jimmy Buffett, and being and the Coral Reefers, and him being a beach boy and all that kind of stuff. And so that all came from that, getting somewhere a week early, not having a gig, not having anything to do, and having a friend who said, "Hey, let's go down to Key West and mess around for a week." And
Sometimes just going with the flow just
yep,
is the best course.
yep,
Make
and
the best of what happens.
exactly. And he, all most of those restaurants and the hotels and stuff, he doesn't own them. He licenses his name to them, Margaritaville, and gets royalties and stuff from it. So, but in any case, unfortunately, he passed away. And what I wasn't even aware of, and I think a lot of people weren't, apparently he'd been battling cancer for years, as many as 4 or 5 years. And more recently, he'd been looking, rough. He'd been losing weight, and he'd been canceling shows, which he never did. And so that people started to wonder what happened, and he just suddenly passed away. And just a quick aside, we were with somebody that knew him, and also know his sister, Lucy. And they were talking to Lucy the other night, and Lucy said she was there with him when he passed. And the last thing he said to her, Lucy, was "have fun," because that was, that's really what he's all about. And he's been telling people, of course, through his music and all, to go out and forget about your troubles. That's the whole thing about going to a Jimmy Buffett concert, was whether you're a lawyer or a doctor or whatever you are, you, for that couple hours, you can escape to Margaritaville and dress crazy and put on a coconut bra, and then the next day you go back to your office, maybe with a little bit of a hangover, but back to the real world. So in any case, he was touring and recording pretty much right up until his death. Although, like I said, he had to cancel some shows, but wasn't telling anybody. He wasn't bemoaning that his illness or anything. Never even really talked about it. And so he would maybe cancel a few shows, but he'd be back on the road. And he was recording right up until the end. And the most recent, he released a brand new batch of songs, his first since 2020, some famous people on the album: Paul McCartney from the Beatles and the Preservation Hall Jazz Band, who I think you've seen in New Orleans.
Yeah. Wow.
They're on the album as well. One song in particular has been getting a lot of attention in the Parrot Head community, and it's people are reading it as a positive message from Jimmy of hope, and it's called "Bubbles Up." And as I mentioned the other day at your sister's party, if anybody has ever dived underwater, and supposedly the story comes, Jimmy did crash his plane one time off the coast of New York, and was panicking. He wasn't sure. He was kind of discombobulated and confused. And he remembered something his dad had told him, which was bubbles up. Air bubbles always go up, and if you follow them, you'll go up to the surface. And supposedly he did that back then, and so he wrote this song, and it's all about when things get tough, things get confusing, and all that. Just follow the light, follow the bubbles up. So anyway, that's my song tonight. Is a little bit of "Bubbles Up" from Jimmy Buffett, his brand new song, which is called "Equal Strain," his new album, "Equal Strain on All Parts."
When this world starts a-reeling from that pressure drop feeling, we're just treading water each day. There's a way to feel better, be well set to weather the storms till the sun shines again. When your compass is spinning and you're lost on the way, like a leaf in the wind, friend, hear me when I say, bubbles up, they will point you towards home. No matter how deep or how far you roam, they will show you the surface, the plot and the purpose. So when the journey gets long, just know that you are loved. There is light up above, and the joy is always enough. Bubbles up. To my friends who...
So there you go. That's "Bubbles Up" by Jimmy Buffett.
I feel like I should have gone first because you have this very heartfelt song and story with it, and then I'm just a little goblin here taking shots and drinking.
That's all right, man. That's all right. It's about hopefully, like I said, hopefully you get people to check out his new album and listen to it. But we all kinds of music here, right? And that's what I love about our interactions is I bring you something. Hopefully you might hear something you like. You definitely play stuff that I like as well. So.
Oh yeah. So this song is about his plane crashing, not when him and Bono were shot at, right?
Right, in Jamaica.
That was Jamaica Mistake.
Right, exactly.
Right.
He's had a few incidents like that. Yep, and broke his leg, fell off a stage. Yeah, he's had quite a life. But like I said, it's a very positive message from somebody who had cancer and was possibly knew he wasn't gonna have much more time after he recorded that. So, all right. So back to what you got.
So, a group that I don't know if they've ever had a positive message. It is today. I don't have the case with me because unfortunately I spilled something on it and the case just got ruined, but the vinyl was saved. Something from your collection that I have inherited is the Dead Milkmen.
Oh, yes.
Specifically, I still have the insert for Beelzebubba.
Oh, that's awesome.
1988. Of course,
Milkmen are awesome.
Formed in 1983 from Philadelphia. Original lineup of Rodney Linderman, Joe Gennaro, Dave Schuttlese, and Dean Sabatino. What more to say? I love the Dead Milkmen. They're just goofy. They're punk rock. They're just out there. Their lyrics are wild. Their songs as well. Just a great pairing with just, again, you don't know why the floor is sticky. You don't know what kind of liquor your bartender just served you, but you know what? You're going to have a good time because the ticket for the show was $5.
And especially if you have a bitchin' Camaro. That was one of my favorite songs by him. But anyway, there you go. So what do you got tonight from the Dead Milkmen?
So from the Dead Milkmen, specifically from Beelzebubba, I have a song that I heard probably a very long time ago, probably from you or
Yeah.
probably on the radio or something, and I just didn't realize who it was because I was young. But then when I heard it again, I was like, oh, I've heard this song
Yeah.
before. It is Punk Rock Girl.
Yep. Punk Rock Girl. That's right. Awesome.
So, gonna get that going real
All
quick.
right.
Turn that on and drop that.
I think that's pretty positive.
Yeah, it's this girl. Please look at me. Look at me. I'm cool. Please. And then, of course, they jump up on tables and start screaming and being public nuisances.
That's
But
awesome.
what are you gonna? What do you expect from a punk rock band?
That's awesome. I love the
Yeah,
good joke, my man. And it does. It almost sounds like he's
great.
making up the lyrics as he goes along. And the song was on the jukebox, and it was the Beach Boys.
Exactly, and that's kind of how I learned and appreciate punk rock a lot. Is none of these people are good. They're
Yeah.
not good guitarists. They're not good drummers. They're not good vocalists. They're just like, screw it. Let's me and my mates. Let's get on stage and drink a lot of beer and just see what happens.
Abs-
Um,
Yep, that's
just
that punk
how,
rock ethic. Just you don't have to be a super. You're not going to be a superstar. Just let's get out and bash around a little bit, and make some noise.
yep. And something that I've probably mentioned, I think, in previous episodes, and what I wanted to mention as well with, I had a thought with Jimmy Buffett specifically, is something I hate is gatekeeping. Uh, and I know that the punk rock community does not gatekeep, but it had a little bit of that
Mhm.
um, when skinheads kind of
Right.
tried to take this stuff. The punk rock community is open for everyone. Why I really like punk shows. There's just such a wide array of people. I remember going to a hardcore show when I worked with the radio station Rock 100, and I just remember seeing just a long line of just every different people from all different walks of life. Kind of like how you were saying with the Jimmy Buffett, you just leave your problems behind and you come into Margaritaville, and that's how I see punk rock shows. But something more specifically that I like to talk about is I very much enjoy seeing new people kind of explore and develop a taste for these type of things.
Yep.
One thing that I really enjoy is video games. I've been playing video games forever. My wife has started becoming a lot more into video games. She has her Switch, and she just all of a sudden will just be playing this new game and telling me all about it. It's like it's very interesting to me. It's very fun. I love welcoming people into communities.
Right. Awesome.
And something that is very interesting with Jimmy Buffett is there is a YouTuber called Eddie Burback,
Hmm.
and he took a month-long trip to visit every Margaritaville.
Oh wow.
And he knew nothing about Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
Knew nothing about Margaritaville, nothing about Jimmy Buffett. And so as you and of course some of the jokes are played up for the YouTube channel and everything like that, but as he goes along, he starts going like, this is what this life is about. This is why all these people like it. And it's just very interesting to see that movement,
Yep. It's
that progression.
all about that escapism. Yep. And in fact, you're talking about skinheads and stuff, and the punk rock not wanting them around. Of course, your favorite bands, the DKs, the Dead Kennedys, did a Nazi punks F off song. So
Oh yeah, that was a great song. And there's still groups around that do that. Specifically, a group came along. Let me make sure I get their name right. So we've got a kind of in the same breath. It's the Kind Eyes. It came out recently, and it's a song called F a Proud Boy.
okay. Oh wow. All right.
Brilliant. Exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
You're not welcome here. You come here, you're going to get stomped.
Yep. At the
Which
show.
I know is what the Dead Kennedys intended with that song.
Yep. 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 Yep.
We're going to create as much chaos so that the bouncers don't see us beating you.
Yeah, I love it. I'm reading the lyrics from that. Punk ain't no religious cult. Punk means thinking for yourself. You ain't hardcore because you spike your hair. All right. So that's it for this episode of Rum and Records. And my rum was Siesta Key, specifically toasted coconut rum made with real toasted coconut flakes. It is delicious. Like I said, they have some other ones too, a coffee one and some others. And as I mentioned, I'll post that recipe for a drink that I mentioned earlier on our Facebook page. And for music, I did Jimmy Buffett's latest release, or a song from his latest release. The album is called Equal Strain on All Parts, and the song is called Bubbles Up, and it's good advice for sure.
And then on the opposite side, I have a shot of Captain Morgan and a Miller High Life, focusing specifically on the punk community with the Dead Milkman Punk Rock Girl.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, always great to see you, Nick. Thank you very much. Of course, you'll see this, you're probably watching this video on our Facebook page, Rum and Records, if you're not seeing it on one of our other pages. But we also have a YouTube channel. So what do they say? Like and subscribe. We don't have the little thing down there across the banner, like bottom, like some people. Still, like and subscribe, please, to Rum and Records, and then you'll get updates whenever we have a new episode out, right?
Yep, and I know my drink was a bit complicated, so if you would like a video of me describing how to make it, I am more than happy to share that recipe.
All right, man. Always great to see you, Nick, and thanks to everybody for watching this episode of Rum and Records. And Nick, of course, don't forget to call your mom.
Yes, of course.
All right, man. We'll see you.